Hello and welcome back to Healthy Drops. Before we start, hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. In the early days of the pandemic, TikTok emerged and stuck fire in the course of lockdown as legions of bored households desperately in search of amusing even as caught at home determined the then little acknowledged app's quirky movies. Entertaining clips of kooky choreographed dances delivered whole households out in their solitary corners to bust a move, guffawing and spending time collectively growing their variations of Renegade, visible through 29.7 million customers through one account online, and different impossible to resist dance challenges. But dances aren't the best movies long past viral. Today, the short-shaped video platform, which reportedly has 500 million customers and counting, is giving intellectual fitness a brand new home. Life hacks for despair rooms, useful tension tutorials, and a sensible examine the sheer torture of dwelling with OCD rituals are all on view, giving aid and reassurance to the ones struggling alongside in silence. Unlike the platitudes on Instagram, TikTok's content is raw and offers a window into someone else's world because much of the content is provided by people struggling with mental health issues themselves. People with OCD bravely film the painstakingly repetitive routines they put themselves through every day. Others with debilitating depression generously give tours of their horde-like depression rooms, which, thanks to their condition, haven't been tidied in months. Ever wondered if you've ever experienced a panic attack? You can find that on TikTok too, and it's served up alongside actual mental health experts doling out advice. The splendor of TikTok, as a minimum for now, is it's no longer a face-tune change universe like Instagram, faux perfection as a manner of creating a sense terrible approximately yourself. TikTok is a relatable, unfiltered, at instances heartbreaking, regularly humorous, examine different people's unscripted realities, intellectual fitness troubles and all. It's highlighting intellectual fitness situations and bringing recognition to those troubles, which can be sincerely important, says Thea Gallagher, PsyD, Assistant Professor and Director of the Outpatient Health Center on the Center for the Treatment of Study of Anxiety, CTSA, within the Perelman School of Medicine on the University of Pennsylvania. And it's reaching a lot of young people whom we know are becoming more comfortable talking about mental health and mental health issues and how to manage symptoms of anxiety, depression, OCD, or PTSD, she says. Most of the focus on mental health I see on TikTok is positive, says psychiatrist David J. Puder, MD, Medical Director of the MEND program at Loma Linda University Behavioral Health in Loma Linda, California, who has his TikTok platform. I love the enthusiasm for understanding the mind and science. I think we can do a lot to reduce stigma and get people into mental health treatment. Knowledge is empowering to people who might not otherwise have access. And in effect, the medium seems to be helping to destigmatize mental health conditions and bring more clarity to what they look like, Dr. Gallagher says. Not to mention, someone may not know they have a problem until they see another person who's like them. And then they realize this is something that other people deal with and something they can get help for, Dr. Gallagher says, explaining what is for many an aha moment. Getting the information out there for people to realize that they're not alone and to normalize things in the context of mental health conditions can be empowering. People living with depression. People with depression often struggle with motivation, decision-making, and accomplishing tasks, he says. Gallagher. She used some very useful techniques in psychology to break up a big task into smaller pieces. It was a great visual aid to see how this was achieved. When you're depressed, it can feel overwhelming, and she shows that there are only 5 things to clean here. Simple information but evidence-based. She says, having peer dissemination is wonderful when we can have other people who are struggling with the same thing say, hey, this is my house and this is what I want to do about it. Even when I'm feeling this way, it makes it that much more accessible for someone else. People living with anxiety. There is a very clear explanation of a grounding technique, doctor says. Often panic, as she describes, is disassociation. Our mind is actually in a shutdown place with less blood and glucose energy running to areas of the brain like the frontal lobe or areas that sense things. So biting into a lemon can powerfully bring you back into the here and now and get those shutdown parts of the brain to light up, he says. Caution. While the awareness and criticism of mental health issues created by TikTok users are very helpful, Doctor points out that seeking advice from an armchair expert can be problematic. We want to raise awareness, but we also want to ask the next question, how can these disorders be treated? Doctors are effective against many mental illnesses. It is important to spread the word that there is an evidence-based treatment, and the diagnosis does not mean that you have to live forever like this. It's really important, especially for certain conditions like anxiety disorders, PTSD, and OCD, for people to know that evidence-based treatments are the most effective, and we want to make sure they're getting connected to the right scientific information about their symptoms and ways to get help. That's all for today. I hope you liked the video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss any amazing video from us.